The Austrian team Red Bull has just announced a strategy that promises to completely reshape their entire 2025 campaign in Formula One. Three-time world champion Max Verstappen received a fully renewed power unit during the Brazilian Grand Prix weekend, a replacement that Laurent Mekies, the team's director, said was essential to preserve Verstappen's hopes of fighting for a fourth title. But the question now is simple. Was this just a tactical decision? Or does it reveal something much deeper happening behind the scenes at Red Bull? And why is McLaren taking this fight directly to the Formula One Commission? The outcome of this dispute could drastically change the direction of the championship. What happened at Interlagos was a true drama that became an extraordinary spectacle. Red Bull arrived in Brazil after one of their worst qualifying sessions of the season, with Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda both eliminated in Q1. The situation was so critical that the team went for a drastic approach, completely rebuilding Verstappen's RB21 setup and installing a brand new power unit. This choice broke Parc Fermé regulations and forced Verstappen to start from the pit lane, a colossal gamble that could have easily ended in total disaster. But this is where the story becomes fascinating. Verstappen delivered one of the most impressive drives of his entire career, starting from the pit lane and finishing on the podium in third place. Mekies called the performance extraordinary, comparing it to Verstappen's epic charge last season when he went from P16 to victory in wet conditions. The Red Bull director didn't hesitate. The car had come back to life, competitive enough, he said, to fight for the win. But this sudden transformation raises disturbing questions. The difference in the car's behavior was so extreme that many inside the paddock are calling it suspicious. How does a team struggling just to score points suddenly put their car in a position to fight for the lead? The explanation might be in the new power unit, but also in the adjustments Red Bull made after breaking Parc Fermé rules. Was this a moment of brilliance, or a desperate move disguised as strategy? But the power unit switch also sparked a delicate question that has been shaking the paddock. Andrea Stella, McLaren's team principal, showed deep dissatisfaction with Red Bull's decision and brought the matter directly to the Formula One Commission during Friday's meeting. The Italian questioned whether the cost of this new power unit should be included in Red Bull's budget cap. Stella was clear. If the power unit was changed for performance reasons, then it must count toward the budget limit. This distinction is crucial because the rules treat performance-related changes and reliability-related changes very differently when it comes to the cap. This mechanism has been in place since 2021 and establishes a maximum spending limit that teams cannot exceed. McLaren clearly suspects that Red Bull may be using a loophole in the regulations to gain a competitive advantage, something that could represent a serious breach of the rules. And things become even more delicate when we look at the timing of the replacement. Laurent Mekies tried to avoid controversy when asked how many tenths the new engine gave Verstappen. He admitted that installing a new unit is always positive, but he deliberately avoided giving specific numbers. He revealed that Red Bull was originally planning to finish the season without needing a replacement, but they chose to take advantage of the situation, mainly because they wanted to change the car again. But is this explanation convincing? Mekies' next comment was revealing. He said the performance differences this season are so small that every detail matters. This confirms that the 2025 championship is incredibly tight, and every hundredth of a second can decide victory or defeat. With Verstappen now 49 points behind Lando Norris, who completed the double win in the sprint and the main race at Interlagos, every strategic move becomes fundamental. But how far can teams push in search of that advantage? The Red Bull boss also defended the team's aggressive philosophy, emphasizing that this is how Oracle Red Bull Racing operates. He mentioned that they've taken huge risks in recent months, including the Budapest nightmare that almost destroyed their season, but that this high-risk approach is part of the team's identity. According to him, without this level of risk, they cannot win. It's a bold philosophy, but one that might be leading Red Bull into dangerous territory. The power unit controversy goes beyond on-track performance. we might be witnessing a potential manipulation of the financial rules that govern modern Formula One. If McLaren manages to prove that Red Bull is bypassing the budget cap, the consequences could be catastrophic for the Austrian team. This isn't just about losing points. It could lead to financial penalties, disqualification from results, or even temporary suspension from future races. The irony is that Verstappen only missed out on finishing second because of the exceptional defensive driving from Mercedes rookie Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who achieved the best result of his Formula One career so far with P2. Mekies is convinced that Verstappen would have fought Norris for the win if it weren't for the disastrous qualifying session. But this conviction reveals something else. Red Bull is fighting desperately not to lose its position at the top. What we're seeing is a Red Bull willing to risk everything to keep their title hopes alive, pushing the limits, making extreme decisions, and venturing into questionable territory. But is this strategy costing more than it should? And if McLaren proves irregularities in how Red Bull managed the budget cap, we may be looking at the biggest financial scandal of the modern Formula One era. With only 3 Grand Prix and 1 sprint race remaining, every decision is critical. Verstappen needs a miracle to catch Norris, but Red Bull may be playing a much more dangerous game than it appears. The 2025 Formula One Championship might be decided not only on the track, but also in the meeting rooms and the courtrooms of the sport. What do you think about this controversy? Is Red Bull cheating or just being strategic? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any detail of this explosive season that still has plenty of twists coming before the end.